I mean, I went to school in Tennessee, so it works for me. But the thing is this. The fact that China owns our debt means that China owns our foreign policy. When we went to the United Nations Security Council and we asked for sanctions against Iran, who voted against it? Because they own us. It's the same China that controls both sides of the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal is the United States of America built, controlled by the Chinese. It's the Chinese buying leases over in Cuba. It's the Chinese that are now building a port facility in the Bahamas. It's the Chinese now who have got such an incredible trade surplus built up. In 10 years, China will have the largest blue water navy that the world has ever known. And this is going to grieve me to say this, but you don't extend the power of a nation through an army. You extend it through the seas. Sooner or later, wouldn't it be a shame the Chinese warships coming through the Panama Canal and the United States men built in the Caribbean, 90 miles off the shore. Many of you may remember what happened with the Cuban Missile Crisis, when we had Russian warships not too far away. See, there's a great quote out there. Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And here we are right now, going into the 21st century, having not learned the lessons of the 20th century. This is the most critical time for our country. If we cannot get people to understand those basic facts, they can see this battlefield, understand the vision for this country to go forward, we'll lose the United States of America. And we haven't even talked about this very vicious and violent enemy that I spent 43 months fighting against over in the Middle East. I just want to say, give a shout out to a young man that served with me in the 4th Infantry Division in 2003. Steadfast and loyal. We have to protect the American people fiscally, and we have to protect the American people physically, which means that constitutional rights that are yours by birth do not go to illegal enemy combatants. They do not go to people who would seek to kill us and destroy us and take away our way of life. That means that Guantanamo Bay, that nice 5-star resort hotel that is down there, should stay open. Military tribunals should be done just the same as in 1942. In 1942, Nazi saboteurs were captured on Long Island in civilian clothing. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt had them tried by military tribunal and they were summarily shot. The Geneva Convention does not recognize anyone that is a non-state, non-uniform belligerent caught on the battlefield without openly declaring their weapons. They have no rights. We don't need to afford them rights. But right now what we are saying to the enemy that will come in and kill us is that we're not willing to take a stand for our way of life. We're showing them weakness. And in that part of the world, the only thing they understand is strength. And if we don't show them strength, something very bad is going to happen in this country very soon. Because they're not going to turn around. We already have about 20 to 25 Islamic training compounds in the United States of America. 2 in my home state of Georgia. There are a couple right outside Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia. See, what happened in Fort Hood, Texas should not have happened. But it happened because we're so hung up on this political correctness that we won't even identify the enemy. And after the enemy perpetrates a crime against our young men and women, we still don't want to identify the enemy. The after-action report from the Fort Hood incident said nothing about terrorists, said nothing about jihadists, said nothing about Islam. Didn't even say it was a man-caused disaster. The fact that we had 4 converts who thought they had plastic explosives in New York and were going to blow up in several synagogues. The fact that we had a young man that converted from Memphis, Tennessee by the name of Carlos Bledsoe, got a Somali passport, went to Yemen, came back after he got training, shot 2 United States Army soldiers at a Little Rock recruiting station. These are not isolated incidents. It's a series of jihadist terrorist attacks that occur in the United States of America. And no, I don't like to use the word profiling. But the word that I do like to use is the same word we use in the United States military. It's called trend analysis. I'm not going after you, man, because you don't fit the trend. If we continue to believe that taking our shoes off and having our lotions taken away from us when we go to catch an airplane makes us safe, absolutely we're not. We're crazy. And they're laughing at us each and every day. The fact that the Council for American Islamic Relations, a known unindicted co-conspirator in the Holy Land Foundation trial, a known supporter of Hamas, the people that discovered CARE are tied directly to Hamas, were allowed to have a fundraising dinner in the Broward County Convention Center this past Saturday. The Broward County Convention Center that your taxpayer dollars pay for, what message does that send to them? If we do not secure the American people fiscally, if we do not secure the American people physically, it's just the same as with Rome. We don't protect our borders. We stop producing. We have such corruption in our governing bodies that led to the collapse of what was great. That's a great empire. What is still a great nation. It's being challenged. Now, I laid out a lot of things that are probably pretty heavy on your heart. But as a commander in combat, I always told the young men one simple thing before they went out. If you get into a firefight, you got two choices. You get to fighting, or you get to die. In the United States of America right now, November the 2010 is coming. They don't believe that you're going to take a stand. You know why? Because you never have. In 2008, the congressional approval rating was 21%. What did the American people do? Incumbents had a re-election rate of 93%. So what are you going to do this November? Are you going to be able to maintain this energy, maintain this fervor, believe in the principles of limited government, believe in the principles of national security? We've got to restore individual responsibility and accountability. We have to stand up for our liberty. We have to believe in the free market solutions that have made this country great. We have to understand that leadership is about merit and talent. Leadership is not about entitlement. And there are some very basic traditional values as Americans we must stand for. Our borders, our language, our unborn, the sanctity of marriage. That's what I believe in, and that's what I stand for. And I guarantee you take that message to the American people, 5 7, 6 7, 7 7, most American people understand. That's what principle is about. Principle is unwavering, because our founding fathers were unwavering in what they left. The challenge to you is to make a stand. The challenge to you is to get behind candidates. The challenge to you is to take back this political process here in the United States of America. Because as Plato said many years ago, those who refuse to engage in politics will be governed by their inferiors. How pressing is that quote that he gave? On Thursday, they're going to vote for a health care legislation. Thursday, they're going to vote for a piece of legislation that's 2,700 pages long that will create 110 more government agencies. It's not about health. It's not about care. Because they're not analyzing the true thing that needs to be analyzed, lowering the cost. It's about, once again, government taking over another aspect of our production. They're taking over the financial industry, taking over the automobile industry. They're going after health care. When cap and trade goes by, they're going to take over the energy sector. How much more do you need to be pushed before you make a stand? Just the same as they did at Lexington and Concord, just the same as they did at Little Round Top, just the same as they did at Bastogne, just the same as they did at the Chosin Reservoir, just the same as Americans did in Hai Valley, Vietnam. We have a history of courage. We have a history of making a stand. We have a history that's embedded in great character. But show it. I need your support. That's all it is to it. If you believe in me and believe in what I say, I would be happy to be sent into the arena as your gladiator. Just the same as I was doing for 22 years. When you did not know me, but yet when that phone rang, I answered it. And I went to defend the rights, the freedoms, and the privileges of America. And all I seek to do now is to go to Washington, D.C., not in a combat uniform or boots, but in a suit.